Hey, welcome to another episode of Urban Renal Talk with Tamika.
And Steve, what's going on, Tamika? What's going on?
Going on, Steve, day 175 of quarantine.
Oh, you've been counting?
No, I'm just being facetious. That's what
Oh, right. I wish we did have a countdown clock to do that.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Like what day when, be able to go back out and
Go outside and play.
yeah. Right. How you holding up?
I'm good, actually. Like, it's just normal. It's the new normal going into the stores with the mask on. It's quieter in the stores. I guess the people are leaving their children at home.
Right.
But it's becoming to be just normal. You just go and get what you need and come back in the house.
Yeah, same here. Are there places where you're like visiting that have like plexiglass up between the cashier and the customer?
Yes, all the stores that I've been in, Walmart, not Target. I haven't seen it in Target, but it's probably coming. Walmart and the supermarkets have it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder, is that going to be the new normal for here on out?
You never know. They may just keep it up just because. They may just keep it up. Like, you just don't know what's coming after this.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit. You know that smile. All right. Go ahead to me.
No. Steve, it's too early. It's too early, Jared. Get him. Okay.
Woo! No, stop, Tamika.
No, Steve, you started.
No, you did.
But
no, this is going to be right. Oh man, that's crazy.
Okay.
Woo! Let me. How you women said, Gavin, that woosah moment.
Woosah.
No, but yeah, no. Tonight, we definitely got a good show. I mean, it's a great show, but it's an important show because one thing that we're going to talk about that we talked about Sunday is lupus. And I mean, more than 200,000 U.S. cases per year. It requires a medical diagnosis. It can be chronic. It can last for years, or it can be a lifetime. But here to share her story, a return from last week, and I had the opportunity because you surprised me, Tamika. So I did my research. I'm prepared.
You ready,
man? Man, I got a lot of questions. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like you're meeting an idol. You know what I'm saying? But no, we got a guest. I mean, Tamika, you know her, but let me just share some of the what's the word I want to use? Some of her highlights of her career.
Right. And Steve, don't forget to mention that some of this she was doing while she was on peritoneal.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. She can give other warriors hope. I mean, listen to this. I mean, she got a plethora of movies she was in, but I'm just going to name like about 5. She was like, You Don't Mess with the Zohan, Mother's Day, One Night at the McCools, Mad Men. I mean, she's on the HBO hit series Insecure. And I didn't know this. This is crazy. And that's why I'm like, got goosebumps, is that she worked with Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston, Julia Roberts, and Kate Hudson.
Wow.
I mean, come on. And and she worked with Prince.
What?
Yes.
From going to his house.
A dancer. She worked with I believe it's the Nadine sisters. They're twins, and they toured with Prince, and she was the choreographer.
Wow. But she did tell us last time she used to be a dancer. So yes, so let's bring her up so we can ask some questions.
All right, but before I do that, I definitely got to put this up. She needs a all-star welcome. So hold on. All right, so we're gonna welcome to the show again tonight. I mean, damn, I'm so happy. I'm humbled to bring her on. Without further ado, Donielle Artese. What's going on?
Oh, hi. Oh, I'm real close. Hold on. Let me scoot back. Hi.
Hey, what's
How are
going
you?
on?
It's hot as I don't know what out here in LA. Whew. Aside from that, I'm all good.
Wow.
How
That introduction was something.
Wow. I mean, I didn't know everything I know now. I didn't know last week, so I'm prepared. But I mean, you got an impressive career in such a short time.
I told Tamika to look at my Instagram page. I don't like to say much, you know. I'm like, I posted it, so
No,
Sure.
I did look, but I wasn't telling you everything.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. So, so I wanted to ask you. I saw a interview you did on LA 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 Land, and you mentioned that, yeah, you mentioned that you took your nieces to all your auditions, and after that, you will always get booked. Were they
just
your right?
Huh?
But were they your good luck piece when it came to dealing with your disease as well?
Oh, they were my reason for living. That and my dog. My dog is pretty important. But yeah, they were my reason. I was like, they are not going to be able to do life if I'm not here.
Right.
They would be so sad without me. I'm like one of their probably their favorite person. Don't tell my sister. She gets mad. But I am. Especially the 4-year-old, that's the baby.
Mm-hmm.
That is, yeah, she thinks I'm only her auntie. So, yeah. We dressed as Anna and Elsa for Halloween.
Oh,
wow. Now, you dealt with lupus and pretty much started having kidney disease at 18 years old.
Well, I was diagnosed with lupus with nephrotic syndrome, which means somewhere along the lines, my kidneys are going to fail. So,
Right.
So yeah, I was really hit hard. I had to leave college with lupus, and I don't want to say what college, but they thought that they were going to kick me out because I was a drug addict. I was so sick, my mom didn't have time to fight them. But my very racist roommate was like, I think she's doing drugs.
wow.
So they kicked me out. Yeah, they kicked me out of school. Can you believe it?
Wow,
But look at you now. Look at you now.
That part. But you know, it's funny because I was there, and the ballet teacher who was there had worked he did productions at my ballet school. And when I walked in, he was like, well, what are you doing here? You don't need to be here. They had to put me in a lower class just because I was a freshman. He was like, you don't need this place. So
wow.
I didn't need it.
So, Donielle, one thing I wanted to know, a lot of people aren't as fortunate as you. I mean, you work with Prince. How was that very first meeting of Prince? I mean, one of my best friends love him to death. I mean, he just memorialized him. But how was it? Because a lot of people don't get to be in that space with an artist like that. God bless his soul. But what was it like meeting him for the very first time?
Okay. This is quite the story. So as a dancer, I made goals for myself. I said I wanted to work with 4 artists. If you're going to tell my age, because these were the best artists in the world at the time: Michael, Prince, Janet, Madonna, right?
Wow.
So that was my goal. I said, I cannot quit until I do this.
Wow.
So the first person I worked with was Madonna.
Oh, what?
Oh my God, the Material Girl.
Yes.
Boom.
But it was, listen, it was so quick. But that's a quick little story. We were thrown in a room with extras. It was 6 professional dancers. And we were like, well, how's she going to know who we are? And they are already given us a lecture about, don't bother her. She's here to work. Don't talk to her. And me and my partner looked at each other. We were like, yeah, all right. As soon as she walked in the door, it's without even like planning or rehearsing. As soon as she walked in the door, we were like, hey, Madonna, what's up? She walked over to us. She was like, what is wrong with these people? I'm dancing with you. So we're the only people to dance with. So that's a video called Deeper and Deeper. And then the next person was, who was it? Oh, the next person was Michael. So I did a video with him.
King of Pop.
Which was great because it was kind of a full circle moment. So my father is the person who discovered the Jackson 5.
What?
Yeah, true story.
Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute, I think that just went over my head. You said your dad discovered the Jackson 5.
I did.
But did they showcase, like, not your dad per se, but his character on all the, like, the Jackson movies with Lawrence Hilton Jacobs as the father?
Well, I'll tell you what they did. So that's the one with Vanessa Williams as Suzanne DePass, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you watch the movie again, she gets a phone call, and then she turns and she says, Bobby Taylor won't stop harassing me about some group he wants us to audition. So can we just audition them so he'll stop calling? That's my father.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
So there's a lot of controversy and how they portray who actually discovered them, so they don't like to give him credit. But anyone who really knows will be like, oh, that was your father. So, and I've met all of them in many different ways. I met Randy Jackson when my father passed away because they paid for his funeral. He was living in Hong Kong. Don't ask. I don't know why, but he was living in Hong Kong.
Wow.
Randy Jackson, actually, we spoke every day for like 2 weeks trying to arrange his funeral and his cremation. And then I'd met Jermaine several times. You know, just I live in LA, so you can run into people. And he said the same. He was like, your father discovered us. It's because of your father. Then when I met Michael, well, actually, no, I did a musical that MJJ Productions produced. And our rap party was at Neverland Ranch. So we went to Neverland Ranch. It was just us, just the cast and the crew. And there was a train station. It kind of looked like Willy Wonka.
Yeah, I know. I saw that story in Neverland. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a train station. It's called Catherine's train station after his mom. And there was like coffee and hot chocolate and cakes and cookies and everything. But on one wall, they had like a wall of televisions. You know how like when you go to a store and they have all the televisions individually, but they can also make them one big television. So they had this documentary on, and it's one Jackson saying, they say Diana Ross discovered us. But really it was, and there's another Jackson on this TV. And then on this TV, it's like, his name was Bobby Taylor, Bobby Taylor, Bobby Taylor, Bobby Taylor, Bobby Taylor. And they all said together. And the MJJ execs brought me over so that I could see that. Because one of the people who worked at MJJ was my father's road manager. I'm telling you, small world.
Wow.
So when I did a video called Blood on the Dance Floor with Michael. And the choreographer is the infamous choreographer named Vince Patterson. And he and Michael Peters choreographed Thriller. He's the white guy. Michael Peters was a black guy, and they both
I
fought.
remember Michael Peters.
So, you know,
he passed
Beat It.
away. God bless his soul.
He did. But, you know, there's a fight in Beat It. And it's
I remember that.
Black guy in white guy in black.
With the knife.
The white guy is Vince Patterson.
Wow.
So we, yeah, exactly. So he hired me for the Michael Jackson video, and I told him this story. So in rehearsal, one by one, he would call us over to come meet Michael. And he saved me for the last. And so when I got over there, he's like, tell him who you are. I was like, I don't know if it's that big of a deal. All right. I was like, I think you know my father. His name is Bobby Taylor. Michael ran out the room. Then he ran back in the room and stared at me. Then he grabbed my face, and then he ran back out the room. He was like, I can't believe this. You look just like him. I was like, yes, I've been told. And he was like, where is he? Can you call him? You know, none of my life wouldn't have been possible without true story from Michael's mouth. That's the only reason I could say it so confidently, because there were witnesses that heard him say, my career would not have been possible without your father. Can you please tell him thank you?
Wow.
So, but I didn't grow up with my father. I know his family, but, you know, he was an entertainer in his own world. So, yeah.
Wow.
True story. So I got my, so then those are my three, right? Oh, no. I said Madonna, Michael. Then Janet, that's the job that got away from me. I'm still bitter about it. Anyway, I digress. So I got asked to do a video with Blackstreet. Was it Blackstreet? I think it's Blackstreet and Janet. Yeah, it's called Girlfriend. So when I found out Janet, I was like, oh, I could just check that off my list. I'm in the video with Janet. Until we saw the video, they cut all the dancing out. We're in a pinball machine. You can see maybe our skirt. I was like, really? My one job with Janet? All right, whatever. Wow. I'll just count it. Then we get to Prince. I'm on tour with who I was with. Either Isley Brothers or LL Cool J. What happened?
No, we're here.
I was like, where'd y'all go? So I'm on tour with them, with LL. And my friend calls me. He goes, are you available? I have a job with Prince. I'm on tour. So I said, no, I'm not available. Shortly thereafter, my kidneys failed. So I was like, am I going to go back to dance? Probably not. So I just chalked it up as, all right, at least I was offered a job with Prince. That's close enough, right? Then after my kidneys miraculously came back, that was the first kidney failure. They just came back. There was a lot of prayer and the doctors could not explain it. I was like, I kept telling y'all God was going to heal me. They didn't believe me, but I knew it. Anyway, so after that, I start working part-time at the airport. And my friends have one extra VIP ticket to a Prince concert in London. And they were like, I guess we'll just throw it away. We don't have anyone to go. I was like, I can go. So I hopped on a plane. I met them in London. And we go to this fabulous show. But before the show even started, I was walking through our seats. And this guy tapped me on the shoulder and was like, you're going to come with me. I was like, oh, my gosh, am I getting kicked out? What's happening? He's like, grab your two girlfriends. So we all went. And he sat us in a VIP section. And I was like, okay, what's happening? So then they start bringing us champagne and chips, potato chips, because that's what they do in London. And this is a true story. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I swear to you what I'm about to tell, all of it's a true story. So we're over there, and one of the girls goes, I think Prince is singing to me. I'm like, Prince, he ain't thinking about me, girl. And then about 5 minutes later, I was like, I think Prince might be singing to me. What's going on? Then Prince points. He goes, and I was like, who is he talking to? He was like, you come here. I said, me? He said, mm-hmm. Now, the whole time he's on stage playing his guitar, singing, performing. So I walked through the stairs and he shakes his head. No, he said, come here. And so I creep up the stairs. I'm like, what? Now, this is years after I've stopped dancing, at least 8 years now. So I creep up the stairs and I get to the thing and he shakes his head no. And he's like, come on stage. So I walk on stage. He walks over to me. He looks me up and down, takes off his guitar, puts it around my neck, and goes like this. And I stood there for a second and I saw myself on the Jumbotron. This is at the O2 Theater in London. And then I walked off stage in shock. And somebody, of course, snatched the guitar off me.
Wow.
So I went back and sat down, and somebody comes over about 5 minutes later. I don't even remember what he's saying because so much was happening. So somebody else comes up to me and he's looking me up and down. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's you." He said, "I need your phone number." I said, "For what?" He's like, "It's not for me, it's for him." I'm like, he has not been off stage. How did he ask for my number? Okay, whatever. So I didn't think anything of it. Then they come back. Someone else comes back and says, "Here, I've been told to give you guys 3 after party passes and tickets for the after show." Okay, so we go. I'm delirious. I am jet lagged. I'm falling asleep in the show. They've already told me Prince would like you to stay after the show because he'd like to meet you. I said, "Well, we got a flight." We were going off to France. We were like, whatever. I've had the highlight of my life. This is great. So I'm going to say about 2 months later, I get a phone call. And it's a guy. He keeps asking for me, but it's the wrong number. And finally, the 3rd time he called, I said, "Who is this? You keep calling, asking for me." He goes, "Because my sister's name is Donielle, and I can't figure out who you are." And I was like, "Well, who are you? You keep calling me." And so we figured out he was Prince's bodyguard. He said, "Oh, the little chocolate one I met in London. Okay, you know what? Prince is having a private party tonight. Why don't you come?" Okay. So I went to his house and I met him. And after that, he was like, "I like her. Tell her to come back." Mm-hmm. So I went and partied with Prince and hung out with Prince. I never told him I danced. I never said anything really about myself. And one day he came up to me and told me, he's like, "I know you're a dancer." I was like, "How you know?" He's like, "I know everything about everybody." I was like, all right. Still just hanging out, friends, cracking jokes. He was very, very funny, like very funny. So we have a lot of like little personal inside jokes that I miss very much. And one day he took me upstairs. He used to have like these parties for like 20 people and do like a whole 2-hour concert, like literally. One time Taraji was there and he pulled her up on stage to sing with him. And she was looking at me. She's like, "Can you believe this?" It was like literally 20 of us.
Taraji P. Henson.
She got to sing with Prince. She will remember that night too. Yeah, it was.
You know her?
No, I don't know her.
Oh, okay.
I don't know Taraji, but she was there that night. And because I had become one of Prince's favorite friends, because I'm smart, let's just be homies. We're gonna be the homies. So, yeah, I just happened to be there and witness that. But one night at one of these parties, he was like, come here. And I was like, "Okay, where are we going?" He takes me upstairs to the movie room and he shows me that he has just done a show in New York when he first started doing shows again. And he's like, "I brought the twins back. What do you think?" I said, "Well, they're cute, but who does their choreography?" He's like, "They do." Before I even thought about it, I was like, "Oh, well, you should let me work with them." And I was like, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that." Ooh. 2 weeks later, he had a big party. Big for Prince was like 40 people. So he had a big party and the twins were there and he calls me over and he's standing with one of them. He goes, "Have you guys met yet?" I was like, "No, we haven't met." And he's like, "Well, do you want to work with them?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, I'll send you some music." And that became the 21 night stand at the Forum. I didn't know that. The dancers didn't know that. He just kept sending me music. I did probably 9 numbers for that show. And then he called me in to work with his backup singers and him. And yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all I can say is wow.
Damn, that's amazing.
So during this time, how was your kidneys?
I was fine. It was right after this that they failed for the second time. Yeah, this was during my 12 years of stability.
Wow. Oh
yeah. Yeah.
wow.
So Donielle,
Yeah.
can you tell us a time when you may have had an audition and you felt bad? I mean, and if you did, how did you push through that moment?
If I'm being honest, every audition I had the past 7 years, I felt bad. It just became my new normal. I'm like, well, there's been other times that I've been sick with lupus and had a lupus flare that took me out of work. And I said, no matter what, I'm not coming out of work this time. We're gonna have to figure out a way, because I felt like I always had to start over. Let me start over again and get back in. I just couldn't see that happening again. So I just made a choice. I'm like, okay, I have choices. I have life or death. With sickness, there's no in between. You either live or you die. I'm gonna choose life. Choosing life means all of it, and you have to do what is required to live and keep living. So that's what I did.
Where do you get your energy from? Like, your energy is amazing. Like, I just want to hug you.
I can tell. Virtual.
Me too.
Lord Jesus. I can't. I can't. I can't.
You something else to me.
Okay, I bet. Okay, wait. Okay.
Oh Lord.
Okay, I bet. Okay.
All right.
To answer your question,
Right.
I pray every day. Okay. I just got off a prayer line, so I thought I was a little dry at first. I was like, okay, let me get myself together. Yeah, that's where everything I have comes from. Is prayer and God.
Because most people would have given up. Like, they wouldn't have kept going.
Perhaps. Yeah, perhaps. You don't really know what you'll do until you're in the situation. I was forced. I'm forced to. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I give up, then I don't really have much to live for.
Right. But I've been working in dialysis. This will be my 20. How old is my son? He's 21. 22 years. And
you look like a baby.
Oh, no, baby. I'm a grandma. But I see a lot of patients, they just give up. They just give up. Like, once they get diagnosed, they just give up. And I wish it was more people like you who have a life, a full life, that can kind of inspire them to still follow their dream.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. I have a really, really good friend. His name is Lionel Martin. I'm just going to say, hi, Lionel. I love you. You might want to talk to him, too.
Hi, Lionel.
Lionel Martin, if you ever watched any music videos in the 90s, I consider myself a Lionel Martin baby.
I wasn't
oh, that's cute. That's cute. Great. Fantastic. Neither was I, really. I was 5. I was only 5. Okay. But he did all the videos. He was the Black music video director that every other Black music video director came from, really. He's like the godfather. He's the one who did, he did all the BBD videos. He did Puffy videos, he did so many. I did, what did I do with him? I did a Left Eye and Keith Sweat video. Like, what? I got so many with Lionel, I can't think. That's just the first one that popped up in my mind. But he was such a huge director. And then he got kidney failure. And I don't think many people knew. And he just kind of disappeared. And I ran into him one day and he shared that with me. And I was like, Lionel, you do know that I've already been through that. This is before they failed the second time. And so then that just drew us closer because he felt like nobody could understand. And I think that's probably why a lot of people give up, is because they feel like nobody can understand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Now,
yes.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what you just said leads into one of the questions I have for you, and that is, why do you think most African American actors in Hollywood that deal with kidney disease don't talk about it, or if they do talk about it, it's with one of these large dialysis organizations like National Kidney Foundation? And that's the reason why I'm humbled that you're here, because of your statute and the people that you work with. You're able to come down to a level like this and be humble and share your story.
Listen, that doesn't mean anything. Those were jobs. They're just people just like us. If you really want to know. So what? Prince is just a human. He's gone because he's just a human. You know what I'm saying? I personally don't know any other actors, Black actors, that struggle with kidney disease. I mean, I'm sure there are some, but I don't know of any.
Well, you know, Tracy Morgan dealt with it. Stevie Wonder, a lot of other people I can't think of.
Yeah, I did hear that Stevie just got a transplant, and Natalie Cole got one right before she died.
Right.
What am I talking about? But actors, they're not really actors.
Sure. Well,
Tracy Morgan, wasn't the result of an accident? The only one I should know that. The only one I really know about is Nick Cannon, but I don't know. I know he has lupus and had some kidney issues, but I mean,
is it a secret not to talk about your illness if you're working just in the industry, just out of fear of not maybe able to get a part? Because you know, that everybody knows Gary Coleman. He was the poster kid for kidney disease in Hollywood.
Well, that's because he couldn't hide it.
Right, because he was short.
He couldn't hide it. You knew something was wrong with him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I personally wait till I get the job first. And then I can't stop talking about it. One, because I know that I don't look like my circumstances. And two, because I think that's my responsibility. God only gives us what he knows we can handle. And so I tend to try to do what he wants me to do. You know what I mean? So if I can bring awareness to kidney disease and organ donation, great. I need a better job. I need a bigger job than this one on Insecure. I'm grateful, don't get me wrong. But I think that it would be a crime for me not to share it.
Right. And you know what? That's kind of why I started actually advocating like I do. For the simple fact is, all the years that I've been in dialysis, I feel like I've done a disservice to, for one, my son, my cousin, one of my aunts, and my patients, to be in this field so long and have not made a mark.
Right.
You know?
Right. I mean, I just think I was actually surprised at how many people don't have a clue what dialysis is, what it means.
Wow.
I get questions. I used to get, got to break that habit. I used to get questions like, okay, so does that mean one of them is working and one of them is not? Is that what kidney failure is? I'm like, by definition, failure means neither work. Right. If I can get a transplant and get one kidney that works, then that means that they both have to have failed. To me, it just seems like common sense, but I get it because it's not talked about, especially because, you know, I did hemo for, 6 months? It was the worst experience of my life. But I noticed that everybody in there, everybody was Black.
Yes.
There was one older white guy, might have been homeless, a little cuckoo, God bless his soul. One Asian man, one Latino man, and everybody else was Black. So lupus also is predominantly a Black woman's disease. So they don't get any attention because look at the world we live in. You know what I mean?
Wow. And
well,
how,
I have to
right. How did that make you feel? Just walking into that, just seeing reflections of you.
This is why I didn't like chemo. One, seeing all those Black people. I mean, some being carted in on a stretcher from like an ambulance. Two ladies in wheelchairs, all Black. But it made me have to face my situation more than peritoneal. Peritoneal, I got to kind of ignore it and just pretend like everything was okay because I was at home. I just go to bed, go to sleep, wake up, get off. No biggie. Although it was, but not like hemo. Hemo is like bam in your face. It's like somebody just went like that. That was very difficult. I think I kind of slipped away there. I was like, I'm checked out. I didn't work very much. I did one commercial, but I didn't work very much.
Hey, Donielle.
Yes.
Can you share with us a time, not at audition, but when you was on the set filming a scene where maybe you're lupus or you felt bad and you had to push through that scene? I know you said during audition, you know, it's like a new normal, but has there ever been a time where it was like, whoa, I gotta sit down, but you like kept it going, and then after the scene you went and rested? Has there ever been a time like that?
I would say the only time I can think of is these last 2 episodes I did on Insecure because I was on hemo and I didn't want them to know. You know, so I'm trying to cover this up. I'm like, oh, you got to give me a higher dress. I can't wear this. And I was so exhausted, so exhausted on hemo. I can't even explain it. So I had to push a little hard for those 2. And one was easy. One was a little bit trickier because I had lines and I had to remember them and stand up and hit my mark. And, you know, my brain was cloudy and fuzzy. And
wow.
Like, what did you say? But I did it. You're not going to be able to tell.
Wow. I mean, you're an inspiration. Damn. You're an inspiration.
Like,
thank you.
When the new patients come in, the young children, young kids, my children's age, I always try to inspire them to like still live. And I think like if they hear your story, how you still live even after, excuse me, everything that you endured. You know, you could have gave up many a times, but you didn't. And I hate to see them just sitting there wasting away when there's still so much life ahead of them. They just gotta just push a little more every day. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I always promise them the reward on the other side is so much greater.
See, I understand them. I understand. I understand. All I can say is the only thing that kept me sane and kept me moving was Jesus. That was it. I can't give any other answer than that. It wasn't me. I'm not that strong. I wanted to lay in the bed all day, every day. But when you are praying to the God of the universe that created the heavens and earth, you don't get a chance to just sit in your own pity, because that's really what it is. And if anyone deserves pity, it's people on dialysis. My doctor always says that. He's like, you guys have a hard life. Yeah. He's like, I'll do anything for my dialysis patients because it's hard. It's a hard life on dialysis, harder than people know. It's physically hard. It's mentally hard. It's emotionally hard. It's hard. So if I could say anything to them is get a prayer life, because you can't do this in your own strength. It's just impossible. It's impossible. I wouldn't have done half the things. I used to get irritated when people would be like, oh, you're so strong. I'm like, no, I'm not. I want to go to bed. I want to cover myself up and just sleep all the time. I'm not that strong, but God is. So I pray to him. He gives me strength. Strength that I sometimes go, how did I do that? One time I woke up with, I don't know, stomach flu, virus, something. And I was doing a commercial the next day. I woke up in the middle of the night, and do you know, I had 103 fever. And I got up and I drove to set and I did the commercial. Wow. They kept going, are you sure? I was like, no, just leave me alone. It was my first job of the year. It's like, just let me sleep in between. And fortunately, this is how God works. See, when you ask him for help, he shows up. The commercial, I was sitting on the couch the whole time. The whole time. That was my job. It's not like they changed it for me. That was my job that day. I'm like, all right, thanks, God. And then after the commercial, I had to drive all the way across town for a callback for another job. Wow. And I didn't even want to go to the set, but something got me up, drove me there. I was like, okay, let me just go. So I get it.
Right.
I get it. But there is,
Now I had to ask for a request.
Yes.
Wanted to know if there's any way that I can get an autograph headshot.
Oh my God.
Okay.
No, I mean, what's the matter?
It's just weird for me because it's weird. Like, I'm not Issa. I'm not Issa Rae. You know what I mean?
You're very inspiring.
No, but I mean, look, I mean, I know these people are just. I know these people that you work with are just human beings, but it's not every day that someone gets to work with people that are seen by millions of people on screen, like Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston, Julia Roberts.
Now, to be fair, I never worked with them. I'm just in a project that they're in. I am in the scene with Kate Hudson, though. That's the scene that I'm in.
But still, listen.
I'm saying, I just want to be clear.
No. I get it. No, but
I did work with Gary Marshall. Okay. That was his last job before he passed away. That was a big deal to me.
I mean, that's Penny Marshall's father, right?
Brother. Her older brother. And he created Laverne and Shirley for her.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you've been around people that are like, what do you call them? Because Norman Lear produced all them type of shows. So, I mean, just the fact that you were in the presence of these people, not everybody gets to be in that type of position.
But that don't make me special. There ain't nobody special. They special.
I'm sorry?
I might be, but that's not the reason.
Absolutely.
That's not the reason. They are not the reason, though.
Right. No, they not. They not. The man upstairs, but he just put you in that position because, again, there may be someone, and I'm sure you're not the only one that's an actress that's dealing with some type of kidney disease. So it could be someone watching right now who may want to go in their footsteps, and you could be that defining person with your story that can motivate them to keep going.
Yes,
I hope so. You know, I have a lot of the last month, right before my transplant, I started sharing every day. I started making sure. I kept saying I wanted to. Like, I did get zapped out. I kept wanting to blog and do all this throughout the journey, but it was enough just to wake up and put one foot in front of the other. So I just didn't get to it until the end, right? But when I did, I was surprised at how many people have reached out to me that have been going through this, or just got transplanted. One girl, we connected on Instagram, and then for Christmas they had a big transplant party, and my mom and I went. And she looked at me, she goes, "We're Instagram friends." And I was like, "Oh, you're Lisa."
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
yes, it's such a small world, but you know, I have one person that I've kind of taken to and mentor through this. She's very young. She's got 4 kids. She just started dialysis. She's got diabetes. She's married, but her husband is disabled or something medically happened. And so she kind of looks to me for when she has problems. What should I do? Should I call my doctor? Should I? So I try to help her along. And she said that she actually was losing hope when they told her she had to go on dialysis, and then she clicked on my page. So that was a blessing. I have probably about 5 or 10 people that I chat with, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, if I can inspire one person, I'm good. You know.
Wow.
You inspire me, and I know you inspired Steve.
Oh, absolutely. but Donielle, yes. I wanted to ask you, yes. With lupus, we know some of the symptoms, signs and symptoms. One in particular is sensitivity to light. Did that affect you on the movie set with all the lights?
I didn't have that.
You didn't?
I didn't have that. That wasn't one of my symptoms. That is probably more for the people who have skin lupus or something. That wasn't one of my symptoms. I had severe, life-threatening symptoms. I had kidney issues. I had joint pain where I could not move, could not walk. My body would freeze. My arm would freeze like this. And, you know, when it was happening before I had a diagnosis, I dropped my curling iron in my eye, and my friend's parents had to rush me to the hospital. Had an eye patch on. I was like, what is going on? Because I couldn't move.
Did you have a face rash, the butterfly face rash?
Only once. And I had it once they started treating me.
Wow. Did you have any issues with your heart?
I don't remember. I did have a mini stroke.
Wow.
No, Mom. My mother.
Hey, Mom.
They said hi, Mom. Lord, she's trying to. Did you mention this? That my hair fell out. I don't know why that's one of my symptoms. It happened.
I was going to ask you, did you have hair loss?
I sure did. I couldn't even wake up half the time. Hair loss, joint pain, and I was having kidney issues at the time. Just didn't know it. Wow. That's when they kicked me out of school. Shady.
Wow.
Yeah, and then on hemo, apparently I do not tolerate the what is it? Heparin.
Oh, the heparin.
I did not tolerate it. They said that I have a very rare, I get all the rare stuff, a very rare side effect called
HIT.
No,
HIT.
What is that?
HIT. No. Heparin induced thrombocytopenia.
Alopecia. That's what I got. I got
your hair fell out.
I got all of it.
Wow.
When I say I was going like this. I'm like, what? Long from the root. Just if I touched it, it just in my hands. Like,
wow.
chunks of hair in my hand.
Wow.
Which,
I've known patients that happened to from heparin.
well, all my doctors were like, oh, we don't know what it is. I said, what? I was like, you've never heard of this? None of the nurses in my dialysis center, none of them. They were like, oh, we've never seen this before. I was like, listen, I have a lot of hair. It's very thick, very long. It's coming out from the roots in chunks. I mean, almost like it was melting off my head. I was so panicked. And then I kept it in braids under my little tricks and my protective styles. Because I have been growing it for 18 months. It was probably the longest, thickest, and healthiest it has ever been. So I went to my friend. I said, okay, maybe if my hair is not natural, maybe if we just straighten it right before the transplant, it'll be easier for me. She didn't believe that my hair was coming out. So she gets, and she was like, oh my gosh. And I could see her. She has a sliding glass door in front of us. And I could see her going, I was like, what? She's like, nothing. It's going to be fine. She had like this much of my hair in her hands. She's like, don't turn around. Don't turn. And she left me with strands. So it's starting, I can see it starting to grow back. But yeah, I'll send you a picture, Tamika, so you can see, because I was traumatized. And everyone's like, you're getting a kidney. I'm like, what that got to do with my hair?
No, I've seen that. I've seen that in a couple of women throughout the years, and they'll sit there and they'll comb their hair and show the doctor, because the doctor's like, well, that's impossible. And they're literally combing hair out of their heads.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's what they told me too. They were like, we've never heard of that. It took one. So I have like 5 nephrologists. Yeah, I have 5 nephrologists on the transplant team. And it took one of them to finally go, oh, yes, that's considered hemodialysis-related alopecia, most likely from the heparin. I was like, thank you. Now I don't feel crazy. And I'm having an allergic reaction to something. And they keep telling me, oh, that's impossible. We've never heard of this. I was like, well, I'm having it.
Right.
So it can't be impossible. I didn't have this before, So I don't know.
That's why you was aware. Some patients aren't aware, and they'll just try to cover it up.
No, I'm hyper aware.
Right, I hear you. Hey, Donielle, can you share with us your YouTube channel, Dialysis Diva?
Can I share it with you? Well,
I mean, again, can you tell us what it's about, the people watching?
That was
you give some information on these YouTube broadcasts.
Well, that was my feeble attempt to start my my vlog, and then I was like, I can't do it. I just don't want to do it. I'm tired. I just got to focus on living. I don't have time. I couldn't get it together. I don't even remember what I said in that. I think I was saying what I said earlier, is that the only way I have strength is to pray. That's the only thing that helps me.
What was the original goal for you with that blog, the intended goal?
I was going to keep going. I meant to do it every week. And then I got hit with, I would go smooth, and then once a month, something would happen, and I'd go, uh-oh. So it must have been one of those uh-oh times, and I was like, I can't. And it's also very vulnerable to go public. That was the first time I was public, sharing what was going on, because I started to feel like people were like, oh, poor thing. Oh, I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need your pity.
Right.
If you want to be a help and a support, that's different. But pity, I don't do well with pity. I'm just not a pity person. I probably was depressed, but I didn't even know it. You know what I mean? That's just not my spirit. My spirit is happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, Tamika, what you think? I mean,
I'm lost for words. She's so inspiring. Like, I wish some of my patients was really watching this because I hate to see them stuck and lost. You know,
Yeah.
and because I haven't been on dialysis, what I say goes in one ear and out the other ear. And even with the years of experience, I'm still not in that chair to really understand their journey.
Yeah. It's tough.
You know, but for her to be in that place, you know, she can really connect with them on a different level.
right.
That's
Yeah.
needed, you know.
One of my favorite quotes from the Bible is, "This too shall pass." Not going to stay. It's not going to be forever. It's going to. And then once I found out I was getting the transplant, it was like, boom, transplant. Okay. I was like, that was quick. That was quick. Although it took 7 years, when it finally came, all I kept saying is, "Oh, it's over, done." I'm okay. Yeah, and that's how it's going to happen for most people. You know, this too shall pass. You just have to have faith and trust.
So,
Hey, Donielle, wait a minute, Tamika. I just want to ask her one question. I want to take you back to 2008, 12 years ago. Can you just share your experience being present at the Hollywood Black Film Festival?
2008.
Yeah,
See, I'm
you
a
was
little
at
old.
the Hollywood Black Film Festival.
And what did I do? It was like, what was I doing?
Well, you were on the red carpet, and they were interviewing you for Rush TV.
Oh, you know what? That must have been right when I was doing Mad Men. That must have been that time. I don't know.
What was that feeling like?
Well, you know what? Being at the festival or the Mad Men period?
Both.
Listen, when I did Mad Men, I didn't even know what Mad Men was. It was so new. I auditioned at the end of the first season or during the first something where it was just people were just starting to, oh, what is this Mad Men show? So when I told my publicist then, I was like, I have an audition I got to go to. It's for some show called Mad Men. She was like, you have to get that job. I'm like, all right, okay, whatever. And then I went in, I got it. That was so weird. But yeah, I had no idea what kind of show I had just put, and the timing of being on that show as the first African American character to have a big role, and then at the same time, the first African American president was running.
Wow.
And the show is set in a time where it was very unusual for me to have the white boyfriend. We were still like in civil rights times at the season that I was on. So,
wow.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I did a lot of interviews that time, and I don't think really even many Black people got that because they were like, well, Black people aren't on that show. I was like, well, I am. Look Black to me. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't really remember.
I
take a lot of.
Wow.
I'm so
wow. No, I saw that video on YouTube, and I just wondered, huh?
What did I say? Remind me what I say. I don't know what I'll be saying.
Well, be honest, I can't remember. You was talking. No, well, you was just talking about being present at the festival, and talking about the movie, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I did Zohan that year, and I did Mad Men. Zohan was a lot of fun too, because Adam Sandler he's not what I expected. I thought he was going to be silly and goofy. He is very serious. And I was like,
so he's not the type like you see on The Water Boy and all these other movies.
No,
no, no, no.
Wow.
Yeah, he's very serious. I was like, okay, let me get it together. Yeah. Yeah, that was a really good time. And then we had a strike. I don't know why. Every time I get momentum, it's like boom, something stops. Boom. Whether it's health, we had a writer's strike at that time, so everything came to a stop. That's when all the reality shows kind of took over. Now, here I am on a roll. Stop for the transplant. I didn't mind that, but now this darn coronavirus. But that's okay because I'm not leaving my house because I'm not playing these games with these people. They're trying to make Black folks the sacrificial lambs. I'm not playing these games.
So, Donielle, do you think when things, I don't want to say get back to normal, but when stuff start opening up, how will this coronavirus change acting scenes? Will there be like how will intimate scenes and scenes where you need to be closer than 6 feet apart? How do you think those are going to be shot? Are they going to be green screen type situations? And
I don't know. I don't do any intimate scenes, so I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But that's a really good question. I actually had an audition today. Prayer works. Prayer works because I was like, okay, God, I'm just going to trust you because you know that I have to work to have medical insurance. And out of anybody, I need medical insurance. And I need money like everybody else does. Last night at 10 o'clock, my agents text me. They were like, so sorry for the late call, but you have an audition at 10 in the morning. I did it just like I'm doing with you, with one of my favorite casting directors. She's like, hi, honey, I'm so happy to see you. It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Wow.
So this may change. Sorry, this may change how they do auditions.
Oh, well, everybody's getting a lot of these kinds of auditions, which is probably better for them because now we have to be on time. Usually we're like, oh, I'm about 20 minutes late. It's all good, especially for commercials.
But when they do this, when will they shoot the scene? Once they get the cast together.
So what they said was, just how we're doing this is how the commercial will be done. No crew, no nothing. I'll have a Skype wardrobe. I'll have to bring out all my clothes. You want me to wear this? How about this? Now this? Yep. And then this will be the commercial. They're doing a lot of those right now. So.
Wow. So who will come and do your hair and makeup?
Me.
Wow. Okay.
They want me to look like I'm at home. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
they
wow.
This is probably too cute for a commercial. They like us to look a little busted in a commercial.
I love that.
No, seriously, I have gone on set and they have said, okay, you look great. Wait, what? Hold on. Nothing? They were like, no, maybe just a little, little chapstick.
Wow.
I go in my trailer and I'm like,
yes.
I still look natural.
But hey, Donielle, I know this is probably a stupid question.
No question is stupid, Steve.
But let me ask you, do you have your SAG and AFTRA card?
Of course. Can't work.
That's what I said, stupid.
Of course. I've had mine a long time. Long time.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, Tamika, this is awesome that you were able to connect with Donielle because not too often, I know you reach out to a lot of people on Instagram, but you don't get a lot of return or replies. And you have reached out to some people that were talent in the media that didn't reach back out to you that were dealing with kidney disease issues?
Yeah. And you know, when I first contacted her, I really didn't think she would respond back, but she did. And I was like, wow, okay, hold up. All right. Let me respond back. Because I was like, oh, she said, yeah. And then I looked at the Instagram again. I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, I was quite surprised. And when I tried the 90-day fiance lady, whatever young lady who had kidney disease, she never even opened up the DM, nothing. Like she just ignored it. So
well, in their defense, sometimes when I get those requests, I forget to look at them. You know what I mean? If we're not already connected, if it's just a request, sometimes it takes me a while to get to them.
right.
So I tend to go on their page and say, hey, I just DM'd you, if it's somebody I'm trying to contact.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that helps any. But yeah, no, listen, being I don't want to say sick, but being sick is very humbling. There is no room for me to be feeling myself. You know what I mean? It's just not that kind of party. Maybe as a dancer, I felt myself a little bit much because all dancers have those egos, but it's just because we're all fighting to be the number one background person. But no, I don't. I think we're all equal. My mom always says that too. She was like, "Who is Prince? He's just a little guy, a little short stuff."
Right.
When I introduce them, that's like one of my favorite moments. I was like, okay, Mom, don't say anything crazy, okay? Just don't. So he comes sauntering down the hallway, and I was like, Prince, I want you to meet my mom. He's like, hi, Mom. She first thing out of her mouth, she told me don't say nothing crazy. And he goes, well, that wasn't so bad. She goes, but what I really want to tell you, because she made some of the costumes for the twins, she goes, I made myself an extra pair of those fringe pants so I could be the third dancer. He stepped back and said, now, Mama, that's crazy. He was like, nice to meet you. And then he just flickered on off. Yeah.
Wow.
I say that because he used to have these boots. He used to have these boots that were knee-high wedge boots, right? Listen, you haven't heard the half of it, Tamika. So, all around the calf, it was like white fur. The wedge part was clear, and it had the red flickering lights like the kids' Skechers. And it would be like, tick, 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 tick. I'm telling the truth.
Oh my gosh, I love Prince. Almost got locked up after he died. I kept circling the house.
Wait, is that where you are? Are you in Minneapolis?
No, my sisters and I went up there. She had to go to a wedding.
Oh, okay.
My sister and I, while she was at the wedding, we were like trying to find the little compound. That's what it looks like, a little compound. And we was over sitting by the we was at the U-Haul place. And the cops kept telling us to move, so we'll go over there by the daycare and then circle back around into the cops. Like, you guys come back here one more time, and we're going to arrest you. My sister
couldn't have been the only ones there, could you? You weren't the only ones there.
No, we weren't. No, we weren't the only ones there, but I guess we was a little aggressive with the cops. Like, hold up, we're not doing that until. But yeah, it was about to go.
So you guys are both in New York. I know Steve is in New York. You
No,
got
I'm in DC.
No, I'm from Philadelphia.
You're where?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
What?
Yes.
Listen, it's one of my favorite cities. I was just talking about South Street yesterday with my friends. It's one of my favorite cities. Yeah.
Life here. It's a lot of life here.
Well, I spent 2 summers there.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Pennsylvania ballet camp.
Oh,
Oh,
that's what I was
okay.
going to ask you. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Did you go to Juilliard?
No, I was going to. I went to Cal Arts because it was here in California. And that is when dance agents just started. What? That is so rude. You don't see me eating. Who are you barking? I'm talking. It's my dog. Yeah, I wanted to go to Juilliard or Tisch. What is it? I went to Cal Arts and I did half a semester and then I left. Well, I got kicked out because I was a drug addict. I was a drug addict.
Wow,
Me
but
dying.
That's crazy.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't, now because I had no idea how sick I was. I can't imagine being all the way in New York and getting that sick.
Yeah.
So, but I was 13 years old. I was just talking about this yesterday, Tamika. I was 13 years old and flew across the country by myself to Pennsylvania Ballet in Philly. We stayed on Chestnut. Stop barking. We stayed on Chestnut. What school is that? Penn? Is it Penn?
University of Penn.
Yeah, on Chestnut. Yeah, and I remember there was a 7-Eleven and a Domino's Pizza. I could see it out my window. Yeah, we stayed there for 6 weeks. 13. Can you imagine?
Oh wow.
All my friends from my ballet
by yourself? No mom?
No,
Oh.
no. And we didn't have cell phones and Cash App. We didn't have any of that.
Wow.
So it was fun. Yeah, it was like, check your mail. I'm going to be sending you a money order. What? Come here.
That was the days when they used to send cash in the mail.
Yes, in the mail. Come here.
I mean,
So Donielle, you definitely made some real sacrifices throughout your journey and career.
I did. Look, say hi. Look, isn't she?
Oh, wait a minute.
Look, Bailey. Look who you. Look, you're on. Look. Ah!
Somebody said, "Who let the dogs out?" Yeah.
What's up, dog?
Hey.
Oh, that's a cute little dog. He got ribbons in his hair. Her hair.
I was gonna say, now she has pink bows. This is not a he.
No, it's a she. That's what I meant to say. Wow.
Yeah, she's perfect. Her name is Bailey, and she's perfect. And she had a brother named Kalua. He passed.
Oh.
Yeah, that made my blood pressure. That was the highest my blood pressure ever got. I had to go to the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else that's good about my journey. Oh, I know this. Can you see this? Is it back? Wait, hold on. Wait.
Your mom made that, right?
How do you know? You read that somewhere?
Yeah, I told you I did my research.
My mommy had this. Oh, don't look at my nails. Woo!
Yeah, your mom made that.
She had it made for me because the first time I had kidney failure, they came back.
Wow.
No explanation. 1.5 years on dialysis, and they were like, "Oh, you can get off now." It's like, what? Yeah.
Wow.
What does it say?
Blessed.
Yeah.
Is it backwards?
No, actually, you shared that story on La La Land.
Oh, I did. Oh, I told you I'm gonna be remembering what I'm saying. I just talk. I talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is very special. I don't know if I had it on the other day, but I rarely, if ever, take it off.
I believe you did have it on last week.
Yeah. And what else did my mom do? She made me a healing blanket. I should have brought that. It's so beautiful. And it's got all healing scriptures. And I never go to the hospital without it. I never went to dialysis without it. I was like, listen, I need to ward off this evil, the sick, evil spirit here.
So what does the healing blanket look like?
It's beautiful. Shall I go get it?
Yes.
It'll take me 2 seconds. Okay, wait. Come on, Bailey.
Absolutely. And Tamika, this is a great show. I know we went over. Guys, hang with us. We're going to be just a little bit longer, but this is a great show with Hollywood actress and HBO star Donielle Artese.
Yes, this is really good.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Oh my God, Tamika, look at that.
I like that.
Isn't that pretty?
Mm-hmm. That's very pretty.
My mom made it 20 years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep. And I never go anywhere without it, medically.
Your mom prayed over you.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom prayed. I just get that feeling. Sometimes I get like weird feelings and stuff like that. But your mom prayed over you heavy. Like she was on her knees praying over you.
Yeah. You know, almost the entire 7 years, she called. She likes to call the prayer hotlines. Mm-hmm. She called every day. One of them for me.
Wow.
Yeah. Like,
and for her to be my recipient, my donor.
Yeah, like she.
I didn't hear you.
I said, some people are okay. She prayed over, like serious, like it was some real intense prayer over you. Like some people have that.
Yeah, she did, and she kept praying for a perfect kidney.
And she was the perfect kidney.
Come on, look at that. I'm sorry, my back hurts. Oh, that's so much better. Yeah, she prayed for. Don't bark at Gino. That's my neighbor's dog. She's so rude. Stop barking at Gino. That's so rude. Sorry.
Oh, somebody want to see Bailey again. Joseph Patterson. He said, "Tell her to pick Bailey back up."
Bailey is busy. She's harassing my neighbor's dog. Can you come here? Can you come here? Come here. Mommy will give you a treat. You got to come here. No, come here. You want something? She is this dog. She's an old lady too. She's a grumpy old lady like me. Come here. Here, come here. Oh no, she's back at the door with Gina. She's
all right, Joe. She's back at the door with Gina.
I'm sorry. She's very beautiful. I know. It's hard to resist her. No, I'm not giving you anything. But yeah, for my mom to be my donor after praying every day for a perfect kidney. Wow. It's crazy.
And you said she was 70 years old when she donated.
Yeah, she's 70. Mm-hmm.
And you said because of Trump signing that executive order that lifted the age restriction.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I don't want to give him credit for anything. He's probably. Have you seen him? He's like, look at everything I've done, and no one's giving me credit for it.
He said, look at the money I gave y'all, but I'm going to take it back next year on your taxes.
Right. That part.
Yeah.
That part.
There's no free money.
Come here.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't get no stimulus check.
But you can apply.
I'm mad I did. I'm like,
what? Wow.
You'll be coming back from tax.
I'm not.
I know.
I haven't done my taxes either, so I'm not looking forward to it. So there goes my money.
Yeah, I second that. I haven't done mine either. In fact, I haven't even done mine file for 2018.
Oh wow!
Here.
What would you say was your biggest obstacle when you first received your kidney?
As I said before, I tend to get all the unusual side effects. So I thought, kidney, I'm going to be good. No, I have not stopped itching since I got my transplant.
I'm sorry, you said itching?
Itching. And now I've broken out in a rash, which I know you can't see. It looks like goosebumps. And they just, I don't know what it is. I'm like, well, it's something that I'm allergic to. And it's been for almost a month that I've had these goosebump, itchy, everything's clothes irritate me. Everything irritates me.
Oh, wow.
You think it could be the medication?
I was about to say that.
It has to be. That's what I keep telling them. But they keep saying, well, no, you know, every medication says that itching is a side effect. I'm like, but I'm itching and now I have a rash. I think it's the Prograf. I mean, it's in my, it's, oh, I shouldn't have said it. Now I'm itching. It's my ears. It's, ugh. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's, I wish you could see it. You can't see it. Yeah. That's the biggest obstacle, I think, is just the medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I've been taking medicine for so long, so it's not the taking of the medicine, it's the adjusting to the medicine. And they're only giving me 3 options right now, which is Prograf, cyclosporin, something like that, and 1 injection that is once a month.
Okay.
And that one, the side effect of that is cancer. And my friend got that. He got cancer. So I don't want to take it. Right. And I don't want to be tied to having to come see somebody in the medical industry once a month. I just don't want to do
it. Your friend that's in a medically induced coma, do you want to say anything?
Yes, I'd like for everyone to pray for her. She's just so loved, and we need her to come out of that coma and be able to breathe on her own. They did something really it's kind of experimental, but they're trying anything. And, you know, she's been around a long time. Ah, gotcha. No, come here. Come here, dog. Come here. I said, come here. Yeah, she's been around a long time, a lot longer than a lot of people. So they tried this thing where they're giving someone who recovered from COVID-19, giving her their blood plasma because it might perhaps have the antibodies.
Right.
And we're just expecting a miracle.
So are you looking for donations, like for someone to donate plasma for her, or
I think she got it. She got it in one day. Somebody picked up and gave it to her. But I want to encourage people to be a donor. This is about donation. They need blood. They need recovered COVID-19 patients to come in and give blood. Specifically recovered. They got to be recovered. So that's the new thing that they're trying. I'm like, try what you can. She just got to live, you know.
Well, I'll be praying for her, and I
absolutely
pray well.
Thank you. There's a prayer, like, you know, those conference calls where you call in and you dial a little code. So there's usually about 50 to 100 people on there a day for her.
Wow. That's some praying warriors. That's what's up. She's
on your knees. I'm like, good Lord.
Yes. That's why I really hope she pulls through, you know, this ugly virus that's hitting people. I really
she's going to. She's going to. Well, that's what I was saying earlier. It's like they know that the demographic that dies the most from COVID-19 are us. It's us.
Sometimes
right?
I feel like they don't even try to save us. That's just me personally. Sometimes I feel like they don't even put in the effort. But I could be wrong, but that's just how I feel.
Well, I'm going to say this. Steve, you're the RN. Are you the RN? You're both RNs?
No, I'm a tech.
Okay, you're a tech. Okay, you're the RN, right? Would you not fully treat somebody?
No, I mean, if I was still working in dialysis and a patient came in, I would treat them. I mean, I had to treat patients that were in TB patients that were in negative pressure rooms where I had to fully gown up and put on the N95 mask and goggles. There's been situations where I had to work with sickly, acutely ill patients infected with the HIV virus.
What if they were white? What if they were white?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't. I mean, I'm a nurse, so I treat everyone.
So that's my point. I think everyone's saying that doctors are changing the cause of death to COVID-19, and it isn't, and the nurses are not treating. I have dealt with what did I say? My mom made chicken, so she's stressed out because she wants some. I don't have it. I don't have it. And you should see how she's looking at me like, why not? Get it. She's a thug dog. Anyway, thug with bows. Stop looking at me like that. All the nurses and doctors that I've worked with, and it's been a lot. I would say 9 out of 10 are great. I might get one that's a little funky every blue moon, but 9 out of 10 are great. I just can't imagine that they're not doing their best with everybody.
Right.
That's just me. Now, this old government, I can't say the same for.
Right.
But I just have a hard time believing that a nurse would be like, I'm not going to really treat them. I just don't believe that. I don't want you to believe that either.
Oh,
you know what
absolutely.
I mean?
But I can tell you, let me just say this to me. I can tell you, I used to be a travel nurse. And when I was working in Nevada in Reno, I did work at a hospital where a Caucasian patient didn't want me to treat him for dialysis. And I was okay with that because I still got paid. But, that was my first time. That was my first time working as a dialysis nurse in that many years at that time. And a patient refused for me to do their dialysis because of the color of my skin.
I can see that because people are people.
Right. But what I want to say is don't discredit the technicians because we're the first person there. Like,
no, I'm not saying that.
I know, but let me just finish. Right. So even the CNAs, they're there sometimes before the nurses get there, starting CPR and stuff like that. So don't discredit because I may not be a RN. I say like quick.
No, that's not what I was saying. You were saying I don't think they're trying to save our people with COVID-19.
No, go ahead. Because some of the pre-existing medical issues.
Yeah, I mean, I just have a little bit more faith. Listen, my technician at dialysis, do not get me wrong. I wasn't slighting you guys at our. He was my favorite person. He was my greeter. He is who got me through that whole time on dialysis was my technician. So I was not at all discrediting the technicians. Right. I was just saying to your point of they might not be treating us like they would treat other people. I just have a hard time believing that the nurses and doctors would actually do what's being said of them. Because you're not the first person who said that. You know, people are saying doctors are making stuff up and they're, doing things purposely trying to kill. I'm like, I just can't believe that as somebody who has dealt with a lot of them. I have a hard time believing that these doctors are out to get us.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Right. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying like when they code and stuff like that, from what I'm hearing from different people, they usually shock them twice. And once they go, they're not doing a whole lot of shocking to bring them back.
You're saying they're not going extra measures like they used to.
They're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they
Mm-hmm.
don't have enough machines to put them on when they do bring them back and they have to go on a respirator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No,
But
I
let me
can
just say something to your point, Donielle. Let's not make no mistakes, because I worked in a hospital, and I don't want to say the hospital because I don't work, but I worked at a hospital in Baltimore City called Union Memorial. That hospital used to be a all-white hospital. Um, Most of the nursing floors were all white at one time before they started letting black workers, nurses work on that floor. But my point to that is, till this day, that culture still is an underlying culture, meaning that minority patients get treated different. And I witnessed this in the ICU, got treated different than their counterpart, their white counterparts. And I actually witnessed a patient that was supposed to be getting emergent dialysis sit in his room the whole day and ended up passing away through the night when I got called back in. So I've witnessed that, with certain hospitals.
because you work there. I'm just saying, from my experience, I find that so hard to believe.
Right.
Right. And you don't want to believe that. Like, no one wants to believe that.
Yeah, I mean,
I
know that people are people. I get that.
Right.
But lying and saying that they died from one thing and
it was really something else.
Yeah. That's a lot of doctors.
But you know what? It's confusing everybody. Everyone has their own opinion of what's going on, and no one really knows what's happening are the people who is controlling, orchestrating this whole madness. Because everybody has, it's on your, if it's in the air, it can get on the boxes and this and that. And I think it's doing what is caused to do, is causing mass confusion. Everybody got different opinions on how to treat it or where it's at, if you should go back to work, if you shouldn't go back to work. You got people both sides pinning each other, because you got people are like, oh, well, if you go back to work, you're going to kill more people. But when is it that people are going to go back to work to earn their money to pay their rent? And people got jobs and bills and responsibilities. What about that?
I mean, I get it, but you can always get another job. You can't get another you.
That's true. But what do you do with someone who worked for a job 20 years and get laid off, and that's all they knew for the last 20 years, and they're into their almost about to retire, and they had maybe 2 or 3 years to retire, and they get cut now, and they don't get their retirement pay?
Yeah, but that has to change. Not us going back to work. Those kind of rules have to change. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know enough about this.
Right.
Nobody does. Like you just said, everybody's confused. Nobody knows what's going on. Now the president says, let's inject, what did he say, disinfectant.
What?
You didn't hear that? He said it today. He said, let's inject disinfectant. Let's look into that.
Inject disinfectant into what?
Into lungs, so that it can get rid of COVID-19. True story. That's what he said. That's what the orange guy said. I'm not making this up.
Oh my Lord.
That's what he said. He said UV rays and disinfectant, some kind of ray, some kind of purple ray or something into the body. I said, okay, that orange spray tan is seeping into his little small brain, because disinfectant. I'm like, so what, are we going to line up for Lysol shots?
I know, Jared, he re-emphasized your point to say you only have one life, you can get another job. But my argument is, what if you don't get another job? Then what? Okay. I mean, I know we can be positive, but if you don't get hired, Jared, then what? You're going to pay their rent?
What if you die? Then what? What if you go out there and catch it and die, then what?
I know, but it's like the tales of two evils. What do you do?
Well, again, I don't think that it's about she might lose her retirement. I think that's what has to change, not us going back to jobs right now. Every day for the past week, we've lost almost as many people each day that we lost in 9/11.
Wow, are you serious?
So what do you say to that person who has who has a negative checking account balance and can't go to the grocery store to get food because they don't have any income? What do you say to that person?
I am very empathetic, and that's why I said the rules have to change. The government has to change, not the people. You cannot send people out to slaughter because they need money. This is a global pandemic. This is not Lucy didn't want to go to work. Lucy feeling tired, she got the flu. No, this is, we're all in this together. It's corny, but it's true. Nobody is exempt from this except for the very, very wealthy. I'm not exempt. You guys are not exempt. You know what I mean? Tamika, are you still working? Because if you're still working.
Yes, I'm still working, and we have COVID patients there. We have a whole.
And I was going to say, and you have to jeopardize your health.
Yep,
and your family's health.
Yep. When I come home from work, I literally have to run past my daughter. That's one. Get washed up, change my clothes, basically detox myself, and then go play with her.
Right. So here you are on the front line risking your life, right?
Yep.
To save other people's lives.
And then watch them.
I don't see, like, okay, how about this? Georgia is opening up barbershops, nail salons, and hair salons tomorrow.
But I thought they said that they pushed back on that.
I haven't heard that. The last thing I watched was about an hour and a half ago, and they said Georgia was still opening tomorrow.
But some people don't have to open.
They don't have to, but they're allowing you to.
Oh, but they got to get their weaves done. So trust me, they got to get their haircuts. They're going, and the nails done.
Listen, those divas have wigs. Put a wig on with the little lace.
Get something from Amazon or something.
You better go Afrocentric right now and tie a wrap around it
and call it a day. Yes, if that was to happen, it's gonna be crazy. People are really gonna get sick.
That's what I said. And so this is what like my group of friends have proposed. I'm sure we're not the only ones. If you voluntarily want to go out into the public and go back to normal life, then you need to sign a waiver saying that you will not take up space in that hospital and take time away from patients who did their due diligence to stay safe. Shush. You know what I mean? Because it's like an atheist. An atheist gets in trouble and then they call out for God. Hold up.
Right.
Hold up. Wait a second. I thought you said there wasn't a God. Now you're screaming for God?
He forgot. They forgot. The atheists forgot.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, aren't they allowed? Let me just chime in. I know this is not a religious debate because I don't talk about politics and religion, but can I just say, it, as we know about God and Jesus Christ, isn't even the atheist able to repent and turn his life and give his life to Jesus, just like a murderer or a pimp?
Absolutely. I just use that as an example, an extreme example.
Right. Okay.
Protesting, saying our civil rights are being violated and the government isn't going to tell us what to do and how to live, and I deserve the right to be free.
Sure.
No, they're trying to save your life, you idiot. Just like when you defy the doctor's orders and leave a hospital when they have told you you cannot leave this hospital, they have the right not to treat you. You can't just leave and then come back and leave and come back and go against doctor's orders, can you?
Well, if you sign an AMA, you got to sign a against medical advice when you leave the hospital.
Exactly. And so they are going against medical advice, aren't they?
Yeah, and they'll get put down as non-compliant.
Okay, so then somebody else who really needs the help, who just went to the grocery store just to get food for their children, comes back with it. Now they're working on this guy who defied the orders, who said this was a hoax and said it wasn't real. And now he's in the hospital taking, no. No, they need to be the last treated. They need to sign something. If you want to go out and spread it and do whatever, just stay home. They're not telling you this because they want you to be out of money and out of your job. They want you to have a life.
Right.
So you say stay home for how long?
Stay home until there is some way, some information that has been found out about this. Because if you just look at the model of the Spanish flu, they thought it was over. Everybody went back out. Yeah, it's over. And then 20 million people died.
Yeah.
So
I think they should really sit down and really think about this and like some type of strategy.
Yeah, they don't have one. They're just
strategy. Like, okay, before you come in, you got to have masks on, gloves on, got to check your temperature, some type of strategy to keep everyone safe, including themselves. I mean, I don't want to go get my hair done and then I die a couple of days later. That's crazy.
I agree. That's what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm looking for my charger because I'm about to die. Are we past the time? Uh-oh, I lost my charger. Mom, have you seen my charger? Look, I'm just walking around. Hi,
you can wrap it up if you want.
Yeah, we way over our time.
Yeah, I've lost my charger and it says I have 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I mean 3%.
Okay.
All right.
I'm glad you didn't hang up this time. I'm so grateful.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I so love you.
Well, we want to thank you. I mean, thank you so much for coming on and sharing and this candid conversation. And I'll have Tamika reach out so I can get my autograph headshot.
Thank you also for your realness. Thank you for your realness. It's so well appreciated to talk to someone of your stature that's real, that can relate to real life. So you are so appreciated.
I don't have a choice. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. And I really want you to interview my friend. So I'm going to give you his info on your DM, Tamika.
Okay. Cool.
He's fascinating and you will not be disappointed. He's amazing.
Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Donielle Artese, star of the hit show Insecure. Thank you.
Not star. No, small role.
Okay. Well, we're gonna make you a star tonight. We're gonna make you a star tonight.
I receive that.
Star status, Steve. Star status.
Thank you guys so much. Be blessed. Stay safe, especially you, Tamika.
Thank you.
Your family safe.
All
you
right.
ain't doing it, Steve, but stay safe.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate you.
All right, you guys. Take care.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
All right, boo. Tamika, something else, guys.
Wait. All right.
Nah, Tamika, this has been a great show. I mean, again, you be getting some great guests, very down to earth people. This just was an awesome interview.
Yes, I really love her energy. I think she's a really beautiful person. Like,
me too.
She's a beautiful person because like she's down to earth, and with her career, they won't come on here like that.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Like we're kind of beneath them. And for
Mm-hmm.
her to be willing to come on and come on again, I think that's awesome. Then her story is great, and just how she just prayed and prayed and prayed, and it shows, the how prayer really does work.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right, man. And just her
She kept praying.
stories,
Yes,
her stories of with Prince and being in London and Michael Jackson at it is Neverland Ranch. Man, just some great stories. And just to let people know that whether you got kidney disease or not, as long as you keep hold of your dreams and your goals, you can do it. Just like Donielle said, she had 4 goals to work with Madonna, Prince, Michael Jackson, and who was the other person, Tamika?
Adam Sandler,
No, it was 4 dancers. It was
dancers,
Prince,
twins,
Michael Jackson,
Madonna.
Madonna, and it was one more person. Oh, Janet Jackson.
Jackson, yes.
But she only got to see part of her leg was in that video.
Right.
So to have a goal like that, and we know a lot of people try to shoot, to get out to Hollywood to do the exact same thing that Donielle is doing, and to land a role on the recurrent series on HBO. Wow.
Just her roles, period. Not just for HBO, just anything she set her heart to, she done it.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I really like. Like I said, I just wish other young patients, would follow their dreams. Even the older patients, just set a dream, set a goal, and try to like make it happen.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. 100%. So, man, this has just been a great show. We almost been in 2 hours doing this. This was an extended broadcast of Urban Renal Talk with Tamika and Steve. When we thank everyone who joined to watch this great show and this lovely talent that battled lupus and just recently received a kidney transplant from her 70-year-old mom. I mean, amazing story.
Yes, great. She's awesome. Follow her on Facebook and Instagram. She's just a beautiful person. Like, y'all see, her energy was just so contagious.
I know.
Steve, Steve, you know.
He's something else, man. I'm getting ready to go to bed.
You going to bed, Amber?
See, I knew. Here we go. You got jokes.
Woo, okay, I'm done, bro.
And then he go. Oh, I thought Jared was going to say so. He just said the
Jared
show
was already talking. He said this show is fire. Let us sing.
Oh, you saw that? Thanks, Kevin, for watching the show. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So, all right, Tamika, you are a jokester tonight.
I'm sorry. I just seen like a spark. That's on your eyes had like little sparks in it.
Right.
It's just a little glistening. You was blushing, Steve?
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. For us to speak, again, with the person that you see turn on HBO and you see them and they're right on the broadcast. It's just, to me, it's fascinating.
Yes. It really is. I really enjoyed her, and I hope we can have her back again, just even as a host.
Oh, okay.
As the best host,
Absolutely. That would be fire.
Yeah. Steve, don't say fire. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't. No.
All right. All right. Well, I'll let you work on that.
Yes. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Urban Renal Talk with Tamika and Steve.
Thank you, guys. And Tamika, you work tomorrow?
No, I don't work tomorrow.
Oh, okay, good,
No,
good,
but I
good.
am gonna send her something for her skin, and a thank you card,
Oh, okay,
and
okay,
then
got it.
talk to her about you getting your autograph.
Please, I need that signed copy and spell my name correct so she can sign it.
I'm gonna mess it up. I'm gonna mess it up. I'm gonna just put Boo.
Nah, because when you send it, when she send it to me, I'm gonna put it on air and show it. You know,
All right, so
frame it up.
I'm gonna have her put Dear Boo.
You got jokes. Just, hey, Don, don't say nothing. Don't be co-signing for Tamika.
Who, Dawn? Who, Jared? Jared was co-signing for you. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Jared, go to bed.
All right, guys. Thank you for
right.
watching. We see you next week with another great show. This has been an awesome show, Tamika.
Yes.
So
yes, it really has.
All right. Have a good night. We see you guys later.
All right. Remember to wash your hands, and your kidneys matter.
Absolutely.
Protect yourself out here.
Yep. Yep. Good night, everyone. Stay blessed and encouraged.
Peace.